Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this video, I'm going to look at mage decks in Scholomance Academy. I have theorycrafted 4 different mage decks that I'm going to present in this video, and to be specific, there would be a 5th mage archetype that I think it's going to be viable, and that would be spell mage. But I don't have a spell mage deck here, because I don't think spell mage is getting a whole lot in the new expansion. There's only a handful of new spells, most of them have synergies with spell damage minions. Kind of hard for a pure spell mage to handle that. So spell mage most likely is just going to continue as it is, maybe with some teching against the meta, whatever the meta is going to be, just choose some cards. Combustion seems like the only card spell mage would put in the deck out of the new cards. So I haven't included it here because it would just be the same deck that was played in Ashes, but there are 4 new decks that I think could see play. And first of them, I'm pretty excited about this concept actually. The more I play around with this archetype, the more excited I become, and it's the spell damage mage. Because if you remember, there are some spell damage cards that haven't seen a lot of play but do exist in the standard format still. Like, do you remember cards like Spellbook Binder, Battle Cry if you have spell damage, draw a card, or cards like Arcane Watcher, can only attack if you have spell damage. These are from Rise of Shadows, an old set, and they have never seen that much play. Arcane Watcher was played in Silence Priest deck, for example, where it was silence to get rid of the downside, but a spell damage mage might just have enough spell damage minions to keep activating it. And the spell damage mage can do some interesting stuff. There's a bunch of spell damage things, and you can use stuff like Combustion for fairly efficient board clears. You can use Frost Whisper to clear up boards and deal damage to face. There's the Sorcerer's Substitute, 6 mana 6/6 that makes another 6/6 if you have spell damage. Just a tempo mage with a lot of spell damage synergies. I think this is one of the most exciting archetypes in the expansion. I'm not saying that it's going to be good. It might fail, but it's exciting. Another reason to be excited is that Exodia is back. With Archmage Antonidas, Sorcerer's Apprentice, Potion of Illusion, and 1 coin. You can kill people with infinite fireballs. But how do you get that coin? Well, one way is to go second in the game. You have the coin half of the time already. And the other is to run a quest and Licensed Adventurer. So with Licensed Adventurer, you get yourself a coin, and you can use that coin to pull off the Exodia. How do you exactly do that? You could use Raid the Sky Temple. That means that you guaranteed have the quest at the opener. Then again, it's possible that you will end up losing that quest at some point if you cast too many spells. So you could also do it with a side quest that you cannot complete with the deck. So then once you have the side quest, then you're always going to have the quest available. But then again, that's not totally reliable either, so I've chosen to use the main quest, Raid the Sky Temple, using Questing Explorers, using Licensed Adventurers, even putting a Sky General Crag into the deck for some removal. So the question is just, how do you find the right balance of removal and card draw so that you survive and you get to draw your combo, and then you go off with the Exodia and win the game. Highlander Mage looks set to survive as well. Highlander Mage is a flexible archetype like most Highlander decks. I wanted to look a little bit into what Highlander Mage is going to get from this expansion, and it's going to get a couple of interesting cards. There's the Combustion, which helps Highlander Mage survive in the early game. There's Jandy's Barrow, big value card, powerful minions coming early. Also can be used together with the Conjurer's Calling so that you can make more 5-drops. And then there's the 4-mana Dragon Crimson Hothead that can also have Taunt. It can help you survive, it can help you defend in the early game, and it can help you activate your dragon synergies more reliably. So a couple of new interesting cards for Highlander Mage. Highlander Mage obviously is a very flexible archetype. It can incorporate cards, and just new expansion comes and Highlander Mage is like, alright, give me those 3 or 4 cards and I'll just put them in here somewhere and off we go again. But still looking like a fun deck. Finally, the mage deck that I'm least certain about in this new expansion is Cyclone Mage. I mean, Cyclone Mage has some nice tools from older expansions already, like Genvala, and of course the Mana Cyclone, the namesake of the deck, and Mana Giants, so you can get some interesting minions going on the board. What does Cyclone Mage get from the new expansion? Well, it gets some more access to generation with Wand Thief. It gains combustion for some early removal, also relatively cheap spell, especially with the apprentices. You can maybe get bigger swing turns. You could consider using something like Firebrand, because you have a lot of cheap spells, so you can Firebrand and again get some more defenses, get some more board clears, survive a little bit longer to get to these win conditions. And then Mosaki, Raz seem like powerful legendary cards, and Steward of Scrolls discovers new spells for you, so again, uses cards not in your deck to make mana giants cheaper, as well as giving you some spell damage. There are some tools that Cyclone Mage gets here, but I do wonder whether Cyclone Mage can compete with just like spell damage mage and that more direct approach, just going phase a lot more. Whereas this one is more about trickstery and making big swings, but it might be a little bit too slow. So out of all the, I guess, 5 mage archetypes that you could play, because spell mage is still also a deck, I think this is my least favorite. But all the other 4, Highlander Mage, Spell Damage Mage, Spell Mage, and Exodia Mage, even Exodia Mage, look interesting and something that I might consider playing.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more.